Welcome back here, everyone. A North Texas director opens a new film this weekend. It is called A Ghost Story.
When I was little, we used to move all the time. I would write these notes, and I would fold them up really small, and I would hide them.
What'd they say?
They were just like things I wanted to remember, so that if I ever wanted to go back, there'd be a piece of me there waiting.
Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck star in a haunting story of loss, longing, and belonging. I had an opportunity recently to sit down with David Lowery to talk about filmmaking in Texas and good timing in the movie business. So Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck working together here. This is not the first time you've worked with either of them.
They were in my second film, Anthem Body Saints, and we developed a close friendship and had been wanting to make more films together, and this felt like the right fit.
There are two things about this that seem serendipitous in a way that you kind of can't explain. The first is you've got a studio A24, which is a small art house studio. Little did we know when you started working with them that would be the studio that would produce Moonlight, which would win Best Picture. Yeah, exactly. We began working with them on this right after Moonlight opened, and so it was just starting to build steam, and you could just sense the excitement within the company as they realized, exactly how big that movie was going to get, and it was great to be, kind of next door to them along as they were going through that journey. But even less obvious than that is Casey Affleck, who shows up here in town. By the way, this film was shot entirely here in DFW, which we'll talk about in a moment. But he shows up here having shot Manchester by the Sea, didn't talk a whole lot about it, and himself didn't really know that it would become the film that it became, or that he would be an Oscar winner. Yeah, he had shot it a year prior to this, and the movie had just, played at Sundance a few months before he came to town to work on this, and it was just, it was a movie he was very proud of, obviously, and he put a lot of himself into it, and he was, I'm sure he had hopes for it, but the release of it was still many months away, and I don't think anyone envisioned it going as far as it did, but certainly, I'd seen it at that point, and I knew it was something special.
What is it you like about this house so much?
History?
Here under the sheet here is really Casey Affleck for the most part, except when there are scenes when both of them are in the film. He's under that sheet. I texted him a photograph of the costume he was going to be wearing. I was like, hey, here it is. It's just a sheet. There's more to it than a sheet. There's a lot of stuff under there to give it the shape that it ultimately has, and it was very uncomfortable to wear in the hot Texas summer. But he seemed to be down for it. You talk about the hot Texas summer because you shot it here. Over how long of a period of time, and in how many locations would you say? We shot it for the most part between June 10th and July 19th of last year, and so it was right in the middle of summer. And we shot it primarily in Irving, in a house in Irving, but we also, did some shooting right outside here, like right here in Victory Park. We did a little bit in downtown Dallas. We shot a little bit in Waxahachie. We did one scene in Fort Worth, but the majority of it was in a house in Irving. Wouldn't you like to see this become more of a hub for filmmaking? I absolutely would, but I do see, I just finished shooting another movie, again with Casey Affleck and Robert Redford, and we had to shoot in Ohio, even though the movie takes place right here in Dallas. They're offering more incentives. They're offering more incentives when you have people who are trying to, make sure that they get the most bang for their buck, and they're the ones paying for your movies. You have to follow that. There's a lot of hardworking individuals who would love to be able to stay in Texas and work, and it's a huge economic boon, not just to the industry, but to the cities that the films would be shot in. And I consider it a great sadness that I haven't been able to make more movies here, but I will keep trying, and I would love to meet the state halfway and be able to do that. Well, we're happy for this one, and look forward to it. Great. Look forward to it. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Pleasure.